Hi everyone, what is up? Those are my neighbors playing with their motorcycles, so if you hear those throughout the video, apologies, but I have the energy to film this right now, so we're gonna cling on to that. I'm finishing my makeup right now, but this is not a makeup video, so I just kind of wanted to start the video. How have you guys been doing? Because I have been very equally thriving and also not thriving, but I wanted to do like what I think is going to be a fun video today and also answer a lot of questions. I wanted to basically do a video on all of the things that really like things I loved using and having throughout college, because I have quite a list. Basically, I'm just going to talk about the things that I used throughout college that really made my situation more fun. But I didn't think that this topic deserved a whole video, so I'm also going to answer some burning questions about what the frick I'm doing with my life after graduation, which is next week. We're not going to judge my makeup today because I'm kind of just doing the bare minimum here. But yeah, so I'm going to answer a question and then I'm going to talk about an item or a thing or an idea that really helped me get through college. So I will link everything below and whatever I can link, obviously, and it'll overall be a good vibe. And obviously these themes do not go together, like a Q&A and then me just telling you things that I like, but I think that it will be equally intriguing and interesting, so that was my thought process. I asked you guys questions on Instagram. They're pretty much all the same. I already know what you guys want to know, but I will get to them in a moment. Also, I wanted to do a quick disclaimer before I give you this list. This is a culmination of like all my favorite things that I've used throughout college, so you don't have to have all of these things by your first day of freshman year in order to have a successful 4 years. This is just like a consolidation of things that I've liked over the last 4 years, if that makes sense. The first one is a Barefoot Dreams blanket. I got this last year as a gift to myself for submitting my medical school application. It was a lot of hard work and I'd always wanted one, so I just got the throw. It's not even the full size, I just got the throw, and this, I like cannot even believe I waited till my junior year to purchase this, because it has become such a important part of my sleeping, of my studying at my desk, of my life in general. So Barefoot Dreams blanket is definitely worth the hype, and they are sold for cheaper on Nordstrom's website, so I'll try and link it below from Nordstrom. I'm 6 foot and the throw was perfect for me, so I'm sure if you're shorter than me it will also be fine. So definitely the Barefoot Dreams blanket. The first question that I'm going to answer is like a med school update and stuff, and like my plans for post-grad. It is confirmed that I will be taking a gap year. I heard from my last school yesterday actually, and so it was sad, but also at that point I was kind of sure that I was going to be taking a gap year. It was just good to get that last email, so I was sure, if that makes sense. Reflecting on my application cycle, it was like a mixture of successful and unsuccessful. Unsuccessful because I did not get in, but successful because I got 2 interviews with a really low MCAT score. Let's just say it was optimistic for me to apply with the MCAT score that I received. So I kind of honestly was applying thinking I wouldn't get interviews, so just the fact that I got 2 interviews with my MCAT score is sort of a triumph in my eyes. That means that there was something on my application that stuck out and that I had things that were in some ways overcoming the score that I got in the MCAT. Yeah, I'm also glad that I applied, so now I know how the application cycle goes, so therefore the second time will hopefully be a little bit easier because I'll know the deadlines, I'll know how to submit things, I'll know what you should and shouldn't write about, etc, etc. Overall, I'm really proud of the way that I applied and like my cycle, and despite not getting in, I think that I did a great job and I did everything I could, and that's kind of all that matters, and I'm proud of myself. But yeah, that being said, I did not get in, and so the gap year is for sure happening now. And so what that kind of means is that I'm going to retake the MCAT and reapply. So that is kind of the next step. The first step is to restudy for the MCAT and take that again, and I'm taking that in July, at least immediately. Post-grad plans for the summer at least are to move home so I can restudy for the MCAT sort of in peace, honestly, because if I could choose it, I would love to stay here in Knoxville. But if I were to stay here in Knoxville, I would get extremely sidetracked because all my friends are staying here for the summer and I would always be invited to things and probably want to say yes. And so by moving home, I'm kind of putting my foot down and being like, no, this is your time to study. But I'm really excited to be with my puppies. I plan on taking them for a walk or two every single day and studying during the day, and I think it'll be honestly a really good vibe. Okay, so now that that first question is answered, my second thing that really helped me in college was my nice desk and my nice desk chair. I cannot emphasize enough how much I used my desk in college. I went to the library a lot, but especially with the onset of COVID, having this nice desk that I loved was so important to me and so beneficial. So if you're going to college or starting grad school, med school, whatever, invest in a desk. Like, it's very necessary. Do not do everything in your I'll try and link it below, although my desk comes in 3 separate parts, so it's not like this one desk that I can link. The reason my desk is in 3 parts is because this is supposed to be a layer that you can switch out. So IKEA has a bunch of different layers, so if my style changes, I can just pick this little layer up and put on a different layer. And otherwise, this is from IKEA and that is also from IKEA, and this can also change heights. So if you need it to be taller or shorter, it's really easy to switch the height. But I just did the height relative to my knees, and I bought this topper, so the topper can be switched out, but I will try and find all of the links for this below. And then this is my desk chair that I'm obsessed with. And the reason I also said desk chair is because I feel like people kind of skimp out on the desk chair. They will buy one that just looks cute, and so then they just don't really want to sit in their desk because their chair is not comfortable. So don't skimp out on a bad desk chair. Get one that is comfortable and prioritize comfort over cuteness. The next one I have on my list is Spotify Premium. I think it's 12,000% worth it. I use Spotify Premium for everything. I used it to listen to classical music while I was studying. I listened to books that were assigned to me because a lot of the time you can find audiobooks, like school audiobooks, on Spotify. Especially this semester I did that a ton, and it's just nice to like not have ads and to be able to play an exact song that you want and any podcast you want to listen to and any type of music for as long as you want. I just think it's 12,000% worth it to get Spotify Premium, and I think I'll actually have it till the day I die. The next question I'm going to answer is what my plans are like for the gap year in general. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't really have one yet. This semester has been extremely stressful, thinking about getting into med school, doing my senior thesis that was so difficult, trying to stay consistent on YouTube, getting A's in all my classes. Like, that's never easy, and I've got to do it. Semester's just been so stressful that I haven't even had time to think about what I would want to do with my gap year if I were to take a gap year. And now that it's like solidified for sure, I'm finally starting to think about it. So I think that's going to be one of those things that you guys will just have to keep watching to find out what I do, because I'm really trying to take this one step at a time, and I know what I'm going to be doing for the summer. I do know that I recently received a scholarship for fully funded airfare to go over to Europe to do a series of guest lectures on narrative medicine, which is so exciting. The guest lecture dates are not for sure yet, so I just kind of know that I'm going to be going to Europe at some point to do a series of guest lectures. That will not be happening this summer. It'll be happening probably in the fall or the spring of 2022. So hopefully by that point most of Europe or some of Europe is vaccinated. I'm fully vaccinated, but I know the vaccination is much different in Europe, so I won't be going over there this summer. I'm going to wait until a little bit more of Europe is vaccinated. So when I go to Europe though, it's not, at least I don't think it's gonna be a super long-term thing. It might be 2 or 3 weeks, like a month. I love narrative medicine obviously, and I love teaching. I don't know if you guys know that, but I just love, I hope one day to become a physician, do that for like 10 years and then retire and become a professor for the rest of my days, because my mom's a professor and I just have always wanted to kind of be a professor too. And so anyways, I just feel like doing guest lectures in maybe Germany would be so fun, and I've already got the scholarship to fund it, so that's like really exciting news. I really need to get more clinical experience, so I'll probably work at a hospital. So yeah, I would say that getting a good MCAT score, going to Europe, doing the guest lectures, getting clinical experience are like my big kind of arching ideas, but nothing is really set in stone and has exact dates yet, and that's kind of okay with me at this point, because if I think too much about how I don't have a plan, I'll just feel sick inside and want to throw up. So I'm just kind of trying to take things one day at a time. The next thing that I really liked was my Beis Work tote. So this is my backpack basically that I have used. I have used the heck out of it and I'm obsessed with it. It's water resistant, it zips up, and it also can be like attached to your luggage. Like this opens and then it's like this, so it can be attached to your luggage. Yeah, it's got so many different like compartments. It's got one for my computer. It's got a detachable waterproof zip up. I've used this going to the pool. I've used this for toiletries, for everything basically, but it's just so nice. And so I have felt like a real woman the last year and a half or so that I've had it, because it's a bag, or it's a tote rather than a backpack. So I've really loved using this, and I do give it my stamp of approval. So I will link this down below for you guys as well. Hopefully one day I'll get the matching luggage. I want to get like the tan luggage from Base, and so that way I can just be all matching at the airport. I think that would be fun. But some of the people did ask, like, what are you looking forward to in your gap year? And I love that question, because the gap year isn't supposed to be like a failure. It's supposed to be this like gift, and I really see how, like, I'm really good at framing this as a gift, because I see it so much as a gift. I've been working my butt off for my whole life, and that isn't to say that I won't work my butt off during my gap year, but it's just really nice that I won't have to graduate college and then start med school a few weeks later and have 3 weeks of trying to do everything fun before I buckle down for my first year of medical school. It's really nice that I'm gonna have this year, and I should see this as the gift that it is. So many people don't regret their gap year. In fact, I've never met a single person who doesn't regret their gap year. So I think it's going to be amazing, these opportunities I'm going to get this year to travel or to do something in a hospital, get clinical experience, teach. Like, there's so many different things that excite me that I'm excited to happen. I just have to get to that point. I have to get through the MCAT. I have to get through the reapplication process and enjoy the gap year, because I really do think it is a gift. Okay, the next thing that really helped me through college are nice headphones. So I actually just got these this year. before that I used AirPods, and I actually didn't really like my AirPods because they seemed to break very quickly for me, and I think it's because I wore them to the gym and I sweat so much that just too much sweat and water got in the headphones. But yeah, so basically I had AirPods and they were nice, but they broke way too quickly. So I recently for Christmas got the Bose Quiet Comfort 32Cs, and let me tell you, these babies are a godsend. I actually went on Reddit and I looked up the top headphones for med students, and this was the highly rated top one for med students because you can wear them for hours on end and they don't hurt your ears. So that's why they're quiet comfort, I guess. And then they are noise canceling as well, and obviously Bluetooth. So they don't have any cords. They're extremely noise canceling. Like, I can even hear my voice right now. It's so weird. They're amazing on airplanes because you don't hear anything. They're amazing for studying because you don't hear anything. They're so comfortable. They hold battery life so well. And so I think this is the perfect gift to ask for graduation or for Christmas or something, or just nice headphones, especially if you're a student. And I have just used the heck out of these. I really wanted to answer this one. Overall thoughts and reflections about your undergrad experience. I have not prepared this answer, so I'm sure that if you asked me this on another day, I would say honestly a completely different thing. But I would say that my undergraduate experience was everything I wanted it to be and more. Freshman year was really hard, but I almost could have guessed that it was going to be very hard because I'm from Florida and I moved to Tennessee where I knew absolutely no one. I also went from being a film person in high school with some science classes during the day to only doing science classes my freshman year when I was a neuroscience major. And so I kind of just like went from feeling really balanced to not feeling balanced at all. And add on to that I wasn't around my friends and family, I just got really sad. So I honestly could have guessed that my freshman year would go that way, but things got better. One of the things that admissions person said to me during one of my med school interviews is, first they said they had a lot of fun reading my application, and they said they love seeing students who go to a university and just like take advantage of all the opportunities they have to offer, all the money they have to offer, all of the clubs, whatever. And he said I did a great job of that, and I actually agree with him. I found out about the College Scholars program and built and defended my own major. I created a club, I used the gym, I joined other clubs, I got a job on campus. I really did just like utilize all the resources that my school had to offer. And I don't think that there's going to be another time in your life that you'll have a university that wants so badly to support you. Like, one of the biggest things about going to college is like just having a university that wants to see you succeed, and they will pretty much give you the resources in order to do that. So, you know, don't go to college and just not use any of their resources. Apply for the scholarships they have, go to the clubs that they have, like become a president of your own club, like do all the things that you can with what they have to offer, because they want to help you. I'm really proud of how I really grabbed UT by the core and just did everything I could with what I had to offer, or with what they had to offer. I did not go to a lot of frat parties and just parties in general, and people always told me that I would regret it, but I still haven't. I don't know if I am just a little bit more of an introvert or what, but I really love being alone. I love to focus on myself, and yeah, I don't really regret my Saturdays spent at the library and not going to parties until 3 a.m. Like, I don't regret that, and maybe some people end up regretting that, but I think I did a great job of finding friends with my same interest, like finding friends who also went to the library on Saturdays, or finding friends who supported my YouTube videos and liked movies and films and etc. People who loved medicine and academia. Like, I think instead of trying to force yourself to fit into a crowd, do the things you love and the crowd will find you, in my opinion. Proud of that. If you're one of those people who don't like parties either, stop feeling guilty about it, because you're a queen. I would just say it was worth it. I get it. I get why it's exciting to go to college and why people love the school they attended usually. Like, I'm excited to be a Tennessee alumni. I'm excited to advocate for the school for the rest of my life. And it's just been a really, really great experience. That being said though, I'm excited to turn in my last assignment and move on. So this one isn't like a tangible thing, but throughout college I'm really glad that I had a hobby. Try and cling to the things you do when you're not doing school. For me that was YouTube and film, and I kind of lost that part of myself for the first year and a half or so of college, but once I rediscovered it and got back into YouTube and films in general, I felt so much more like myself. So coming to college or starting a new chapter in your life, don't lose sight of who you are and cling to those hobbies, cling to those things that you love to do, because it'll really make your experience in this new phase of life so much easier when you're still doing the things that you were used to doing and that made you happy. What book are you reading right now? Love this question. Honestly, I have not been a book queen recently because again, I've just been stressed and so busy, but just the last few days I have been hustling through this book called Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. Really, it's a goal of mine to study for the MCAT during the day and then read books at night, because reading books really helps with the MCAT because there's a whole reading section on the MCAT. So I'm going to consider reading books as a form of studying this summer. But this book is very good. Definitely trigger warning though. There's a lot of discussions on sexual assault and stuff, but it's a thriller, so I really enjoyed reading it. Yeah. I also want to say that, like, you guys are just so kind. Like, almost every single one of you who asked about my plans for my gap year said, like, please only share if you're comfortable sharing. And, like, that's so nice. Like, we need more people like that who doesn't just ask questions and think that they deserve an answer no matter what. Like, you guys did a great job of asking me questions but making sure I know that I don't have to answer them, and like whatever I'm comfortable with sharing is okay with you guys. So thank you for being such great people, because that made me feel good. It made me feel like comfort. So the last question I'm gonna answer is sort of like how to not compare your path and journey to others, and I think that is a great question, especially with what I'm going through. I have a pretty equal amount of friends who did get into medical school this cycle and some who did not, just like me, and so I've kind of seen both sides of it. But I think what really helped me is going on Student Doctor Network. This is sort of like Reddit but for pre-meds, and so I went on that all the time this last year, and it's been really enlightening to see how many different journeys there are to med school. I've seen people write about how they went into the military and then came and applied to medical school. They've had 5 kids and now they're applying to medical school. They took 4 gap years and now they're applying to medical school. They applied right out of college and got in. They are applying from different countries. Like, there's just so many paths. So just because you're seeing one path does not mean that your path is wrong. Comparison is the thief of joy, and just because someone that you follow on social media or that you know in your life is doing something else doesn't mean that that's the right way, because there's so many different ways and paths. The last one I had on my list is actually plants and flowers. My boyfriend just sent me this beautiful bouquet for graduation. He's an angel. I actually cried because I was not expecting to get flowers in the mail, but it says, "Congrats on your sweet success, my sweet May. Love, Barrett." And I cried. But those are flowers, but I've really enjoyed having plants throughout college. It's helped me sort of feel like I'm keeping something alive, and I don't know, that's really the end of it. I just have loved I love the way they look in my room, and I love to take care of them. So invest in some plants or some flowers every week. and that will be just like a little mood booster for you. Something tells me this is gonna be a long video, but I wanted to update you guys and just sort of fill you in. I'm graduating next week. My family is going to help me move out of my apartment when they come see me graduate. Then I will be driving back with them to Indiana, and I will begin my second journey of applying to med school. Thank you guys so much for all of your support, and again, just being so comforting. I can't wait to show you guys what I do with my gap year. Hopefully it is as fun and exciting as I want it to be in my head. This was a blessing in disguise, but I will see you guys so soon in my next video. Peace, kisses, love. I don't know why I'm doing 2 fingers, but peace.